Okay, welcome back. Let's have a look how we can apply these finishes now to our pieces of wood. Any really good finish is all down to fantastic preparation. And this I can't emphasize enough. What we're trying to do is get all our pencil marks off, all the glue marks off the wood, even our grubby finger marks off because we may have been working on this piece um, for quite some time. And so we want to eradicate all these impurities. We also want our wood to be smooth, and we don't want any splinters to still be on our material. Of course, if you're doing a garden fence outside, this might not matter so much, but certainly an indoor piece, you want to get all the splinters out. And we can do this, of course, with the good old glass paper, which I talked about in woodworking tools. You want to work your way down to probably about P220 grit to get a nice finish. A sanding block would also be a good use here. This will get you an even pressure over your work, and it will remove the marks easier. So we wrap the glass paper round the sanding block to give us a firmer hold and more consistent pressure. With large surfaces, we obviously need our orbital sanders, which will take away all the labour, if you like, from the sanding. And these have the glass paper applied underneath here to the machine, and we can sand our work down really much quicker. So once we've done that, we'll have a dust-free and grease-free surface ready for the finish that we want to apply. Okay, so waxes and oils we can apply in the same way. So we can rub on with a cloth to cover all the material and get a nice sort of standard coating and even coating. And then we leave for about 5 minutes so it will soak in any excess product that we have. And then we want to rub off anything left so that we obviously have a surface to work with. If you're using the oils, you may want to use the gloves so that you don't contaminate your hands. Varnish is quite a little bit more complicated because you want to put one coat of varnish on, normally with a brush, although you can do it with a cloth. You're then going to leave to dry, really for about plus or minus 16 hours. However, there are water-based varnishes. So let me just put that in there, water-based varnish. And they, take around maybe 1 hour before you need to reapply. The idea then would be to lightly sand the newly cured varnish, and this will give you a nice basis then to be able to put on another coat of varnish. And then you leave it to dry, and then again you lightly sand it down, and you keep doing this until you've built up the number of layers you want. So normally 3 layers is a good surface finish. And then what you can do, a little trick, is to get some wax and wire wool and rub this on into the wood, which will make it really smooth and a lovely finish to touch. Now stains will be a little bit more easier to deal with. Normally again it's just a one coat brush on surface. Again, depending on the instructions that you get with the cam, leave for 16 hours to dry. And then, as I said, a little trick is to put a varnish over the top to give it some durability. Or you might have one of the new stains which already include the varnish, so you don't have to go through that second step. Okay, so paint can have quite a number of layers to build up. So first of all, we start with a primer layer, which seals the wood and stops extra absorption of the paint into the surface of the cells. We then apply an undercoat, and this will prepare ready for the top surface. Now, if you're having a light top surface, then you would need a white undercoat. And if you're thinking of like having a dark finish surface, then you need to go for like a grey undercoat. Once that is dry, then we're looking at putting on our top coat, which is normally contains the colour that you want to finish off with. Now, a wood preservative is very thin and is meant to be brushed on with really like a heavy layer, a heavy coat, so that it will soak into your material as deep as it can. And normally you don't need to give it a second coat, but a second coat can always help. Let's examine this in a little bit more greater depth. So imagine this brown rectangle is a piece of wood which I am now placing on my wood preservatives. This is a cross section of it, and you can see that as I build up the coats, the preservative will sink lower and lower into the surface of the wood, and therefore giving greater protection. So as you can see in the center of this garden fence, it is unprotected, and if this is going to be buried underground like a post or a stake, then we do have problems, because that is where the fungal attack and insect attack is going to happen. So to avoid this or improve the situation, we can get pre-treated timber which has had this wood preservative forced into it, and we call this tannalized wood, and I want to show you that process next. Tannalizing wood is something that we can't really do in the workshops. We need this special piece of equipment here. Look how big it is. This is called an autoclave. It's a big cylinder, as you can see, and it allows us to control the pressure inside the cylinder, allows us to put things in and out, and some of them also help increase the temperature. So you can see here the timber is being inserted into the autoclave, ready to be tannalized. So in this diagram we have got a cross section of the autoclave, and that's the green circle, and then here we've got a piece of timber which is placed in the cylinder, ready to be tannalized. So stage one, we get the air to be sucked out of the autoclave, and this creates a vacuum inside. Now the idea of this is that the air in the wood cells is already drawn out as well in this vacuum, enabling them to be open and ready for the liquid to be poured in. In stage two, the wood preservative is pumped into the autoclave and fills up the chamber. So we can pump it in here, and then that will start to allow the wood to initially soak in some of these chemicals. In stage three of the process, if we keep pumping in this wood preservative, we're going to build up the internal pressure which is being forced onto the wood, and this will have an effect of pushing the preservative deeper and deeper into the wood cells. Hopefully we can get right to the middle. Then in stage four, we're going to pump out the preservative, and this can be used again for another day. So the preservative gets pumped out, and then that will allow us to retrieve the wood inside. And then step 5 is just to let the wood dry out with the preservative inside. And hopefully you can see under this pressurized system, we're going to get a lot more of the wood preservative into the center of the wood. And here are some very typical products that we get. Posts for garden fences and stakes, which are going to be buried into the ground and need that extra protection. And here you can see some fence slats here, which have been tannalized, and you can see you got a choice of colour. You can either have green or brown. Okay, thanks very much for listening, and see if you can review this tannalized wood process now. If you close your eyes, would you be able to go through these 5 stages? Okay, see you soon.